This Friday on YouPlug.
I'm not gonna ask her unnecessary questions. I mean, we have a professional here.
We want to see
Sure.
what what does the mind do in these
Yeah,
stuff. So
we want to see, we want to know.
There is a standard of beauty according to the Western culture.
What standards? Let's start it there. Have someone ever told you that you are ugly?
The standard of beauty in and of itself is quite unrealistic.
your pastors will say, don't look at the outer appearance, look at the
And
heart.
are not the X-rays up in. We don't know how you look
Yes,
inside.
sure.
So, but if my person feels like, you know, you will always be compensating for their insecurity.
Oh yeah. People are now comfortable with their natural hair. They are comfortable with their skins.
Wait, no ma sweat like one.
Plug in to our conversations with Mac and Oups. We got you. YouPlug.
Good afternoon, friends and family. Thank you for joining us once again. You know, when we're outside here, we have a guest today, and you can see that there's a rose among the thorns.
Hey, I'm not sure about the thorn part.
Especially your shirt suggests something else.
I can't be a thorn.
Friends and family, this is Mac. Welcome to YouPlug, that keeps you plugged in, and we are excited to be bringing you today's episode with a guest. She has some expertise in clinical psychology.
We are plugging you in.
We are plugging you. These things of relationships, they don't happen outside of the mind. They affect the mind. So we want to see what does the mind do in these stuff. So
we want to see, we want to know. Follow us.
Before we get right into it, I'm gonna give my friend a chance to do what he does best.
Yabo! We are within, guys. Thank you for joining, for tuning in, and for supporting our content.
Yeah.
For those who do not know me, you know how I roll. 3, 2, 1, let's do it together. I'm sure you guys have already got the hang of these things. So, yes, guys. Once I say that, I'm on beast mode. I'm ready to go into these things, and maybe we'll let our guest greet you. Hi, Puse.
Hi guys. I feel like it's at this point where you need to add that queen.
We'll see what we can do.
Hi everyone. This is YouPlug, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I feel very much welcome. Thanks for having me on your channel.
Awesome. This is Puseletso, Molaaphene. And we thank you for joining us and plugging us. So let's get right into it.
Let's get right into it.
Oops, do what you do best.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna ask her unnecessary questions. I mean, we have a professional here. We need to keep it But guys, we are speaking about how does physical appearance the impact of physical appearance on relationship, but today we want to speak specifically on beauty.
Yeah.
We want to speak with that, and we have the beautiful Puseletso here. She will wrap it up. I mean, she has already summed it up by how she looks. But engage us. We want to engage you on the topic of beauty.
So on that, let me start off with that topic. Do looks matter?
Yes, they do.
In relationships, talk about now in relationships.
Right. Yeah, I think they do matter. They are not everything, but they're certainly very important.
Okay.
I don't know. I do follow you guys.
Okay, sure.
So on your video from a couple of weeks ago, if not last week,
Uh-huh.
you guys had, it is last week when you guys introduced this topic of summer bodies, you guys.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, and the question was, do looks matter?
Uh-huh.
And my immediate response was, yes, they do, especially for relationships, you guys.
Okay, sure.
They certainly do, because of there is a standard or the standard.
Okay.
But I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit more.
Okay.
So
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
that's my short long answer. Looks do matter.
I think we should have Soma got into it. What standards? Let's start it there.
Okay.
Who sets these standards?
Yes.
Yes, that's what you asked last week.
Let's
So in terms of beauty, I think if you had to answer the question, what is beauty or who is beautiful?
Yeah, sure.
My answer would be, it depends who's asking.
Okay.
It depends where they're asking the question from.
Okay.
Because beauty is social cultural. So that means that it's informed by the social cultural norms of the day.
Okay.
So this
sure.
means that what we see as beautiful here in Johannesburg might not be what someone else in Cape Town may deem as beautiful. It may not be what someone in Kenya thinks is beautiful. So culture, society informs what beauty is.
Okay.
But if you're asking me personally, I think beauty is a feeling.
Oh,
That would be my summary. I think beauty is a feeling.
it's a feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what I mean by that is it's pointless for somebody. No one can feel it for you. So it's pointless for somebody else on the outside to tell you you're beautiful if you don't feel it yourself.
Oh, okay.
So and in fact, I think it is a feeling for the observer and the observed.
Okay,
So
sure.
if I observe you
Uh-huh.
to be beautiful, you evoke a certain feeling inside of me.
Okay.
And so I would say, okay, whatever look that you have resonates with my meaning of beauty.
Oh, okay.
And even for
So
the
everyone has their meaning of beauty. That's exactly what you're saying.
definitely
Yeah,
people,
sure.
I think, and it's a bit of a struggle, that one actually, because of the standard. Let me go back to what I said about beauty being social culture.
Okay.
Yes, beauty is social cultural, but there is a standard of beauty according to the Western culture
Okay.
that has permeated all the other cultures.
Okay.
Because
So it's a dominating narrative.
it's the dominating narrative. The Western
sure.
narrative of beauty is dominating all the other cultures. Because I think it would be safe to say the globe is Western.
Okay.
You know, so that would be the lean, young, long straight hair for females, skinny.
Okay.
I did say lean.
yeah.
Fair skin. You know, that is the beauty, the Western beauty ideal.
Okay, sure. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm still taking notes here in my brain. I think you said a mouthful.
You're still trying to figure it out. So I'm thinking, and I fully agree with you. I think we are slowly moving into a different story now. I mean, we're from our former Miss Universe, Zosie, and we have now our Miss South Africa. I think the whole narrative of beauty now is being changed. People are now comfortable with their natural hair. They are comfortable with their skins. But I want to move because I want to see beauty and psyche. The notion of beauty and psyche. Maybe in your personal space, have someone ever told you that you are ugly? I want to see what feeling does it invoke.
Let me think back. Okay, let me think back. I think when I was much younger, I would usually be compared to my sister.
Okay.
She was bubbly, and so she would get along with people generally.
Sure.
You know, at the time, and I was more reserved. I would keep to myself a lot more. So some family members would say, "When now, ma, sweat like one."
Yeah.
When I wouldn't got any blood.
Sure.
Because as you guys can see my nose. So that would be their way of evoking in me a feeling of wanting approval from them.
Okay, sure.
And as a result, go to them and be more open, like my sister was.
Oh yeah, sure.
So that's the example that comes to my mind immediately.
Yeah.
I have been called, I guess, unattractive in that regard.
Oh yeah, sure. Mak, while Mak is still thinking, I'm not trying to ask you to speak out of office and what you are doing,
Sure.
but in terms of your own studies and your and your observations, what are the common psychological struggles that are in relation to beauty when people speak about beauty and people that you see and they're struggling a certain way, whether it's how they look or whatever they...
Sure, that's a very important one.
What is common?
Yeah, actually, because of the standard, right? As much as we say beauty is a feeling, beauty is in the eye of the beholder and whenever there is a standard, naturally people will want to aspire to attain that standard.
Okay,
right?
sure.
So, and we find it, the concept of beauty itself is usually associated with women.
Okay.
So with femininity.
Okay.
So naturally, most women want to be and feel beautiful.
Okay.
Right. And the standard of beauty in and of itself is quite unrealistic. Because think about it. It is what the media sells us.
Okay,
it's
sure.
what's in print media, on print media, TV, wherever, visuals. This is the idea of beauty that has been that is being depicted, right? And the problem with that is a lot of editing goes into these things.
Sure.
Photoshop, airbrushing, all those things.
Yeah, sure.
So even those models that you see on the glossy makers and covers are not. That is not the true
So it's something
representation.
unattainable.
It's something unattainable.
Okay, sure.
So as a result, you find young girls, especially, killing themselves in pursuit of this image of beauty.
Of that specific image.
Absolutely. And so they go on to develop things like eating disorders. Some will restrict the intake of food. Some would eat and then purge the food after it's induced vomiting.
Sorry, I'm trying to speak about that eating disorder. What is happening there? What is
I'm
that?
getting into that.
Sure.
So eating disorders would be a pathological way, I would say a pathological way of relating to food.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So this would mean that, I'll give you an example of the two most common ones, anorexia and bulimia.
Okay, sure.
So anorexia is an eating disorder where one restricts the intake of food.
Okay, sure.
So they starve themselves.
Okay.
And bulimia is quite the opposite of that. They do eat, sometimes binge actually on a lot of food and then induce vomiting.
Okay.
Yes. So in both instances, it's usually an issue of control, but it's also because of a dissatisfaction with one's body image.
Okay.
Yes. So that's what eating disorders are. And so, back to your question, how does this idea of beauty impact people psychologically?
Yeah.
That's one way in which it does.
Okay,
And in
okay.
terms of relationships as well, because of evolution as well, evolutionally, back then, women that were deemed to be attractive were fair-skinned, once more, tiny waistline, and actually those were the women that were deemed to be more reproductive.
Oh.
Yeah. So actually our ideas of beauty are not always their own. Are not always our own, rather. They come from generations and generations
Bloody hotspot.
of culture.
Yeah,
Bloody hotspot.
Yeah.
And whether you acknowledge it or not,
Yeah, sure.
whether you're aware of it or not,
Or not,
bloody
yeah.
hotspot. So evolution, that's why hence the yellow bone is still a thing. Even now,
It's still a thing.
I think it is. I think it still is.
No, I'm just being
there are
controversial. It's
changes.
actually.
There are changes like you alluded to earlier. However, the change is slow. It's gradual. If something as far back as evolution times, when the evolutionary theories were being changed, still impact our lives today. We can imagine. Yes, it's great. Zozi and Aboshudu are doing very well. However, it's still going to take time. So, in saying that the idea itself of beauty is not stagnant, it's ever evolving.
It's evolving.
Yeah, because culture evolves.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. So Nala, let's we took
Sorry,
that to you.
did I answer you?
Oh yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Are you guys
so I
answered?
like to process things, but
Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
fine.
Not a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
So I was now taking it into relationships, and I think you kind of touched on that when they say do not look at the heart. Don't you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The
Pastors are-
outside outward
pastors are
appearance.
accused of that. Pastors are accused to say,
Your
pastor,
pastors will say, don't look at the outer appearance. Look at the
And
heart.
listen, a friend
Yeah.
would say, a friend of mine on Facebook would usually say, Arnadi X-rays up in. We don't know how you look
Yes,
inside,
sure.
so the frame
We work
outside
on
is
what
all
we
we have
see.
to work
Yeah.
with. Yeah.
yeah.
So is it a thing? I mean, is it practical to say one does not look at the heart? And I think it might be a bit vague. But what I'm trying to get to is, can a relationship work if you just blind yourself to this person's outward appearance?
Is there something that outside appearance does?
Yeah. Does it do?
Does it feel? Yeah, maybe it does, but I want to hear something.
It goes back to the first question you asked.
Yeah.
Do looks matter?
Yeah.
You know, and they do.
Yeah.
To what extent, it will vary from person to person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that would be the same answer even in this instance, you know. Can one make it work? Can they? Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because we are all different and we look for different things at the end of the
Sure.
day. However, back to what I said about beauty being a feeling, there is nothing as frustrating as seeing someone's, shall I say, potential, but they don't recognize it within themselves.
Oh yeah, sure.
So a classical case of insecurity, right?
Yeah.
So one can say, no, I'll make it work with my person. I don't mind how they look on the outside. But if my person feels like, you know, you will always be compensating for their insecurity.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
So can it work? Yes, it can. Will it be easy? Will there be challenges? Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh wow. I think sorry, Meg. I think we're just about to wrap it up. I want to let you say the last thing. I think time is really chowing us here.
Yeah.
But I really
no, I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying to listen to this whole thing. You wanted to say the last thing, I don't.
Yeah, no, I think I was just going back to what you were saying, that it has to that beauty is a feeling.
Yeah, sure.
I think to a certain extent, then it's up to you, because sometimes we want to make it work in what society has projected, and we want to pursue that. And if it's attractive to you in your respect, I think then it plays a crucial role.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would say that, yes, there is the standard. The standard keeps changing, but the Western narrative of what beauty is has been the standard that's been ongoing from generation to generation. However, I want to absolutely agree with that and say that now is the perfect time to celebrate the old ideas of beauty. Because we are in the digital age. People are gaining more and more control of their own narrative.
Yes, sure.
You can portray whatever you
Tell
want.
your own story.
Absolutely. On social media, we have these platforms and
sure.
use them. And there is a change. You know, radically, black women have come to the fore and said, we are bold. We are dark-skinned.
Viva black women! Viva!
Yes, we are bold. We
Girl
are
power.
dark-skinned. Our hair defies gravity, and we
And
are
men
okay
as well.
with it.
Black men as well.
Yeah, black men as well.
Viva!
Viva black men, we are handsome.
Okay, you guys are so extra. But yeah, absolutely. Now is the time to take control of your own narrative. It's not easy, but it's doable.
Guys, I think we can't have more of these things. I've certainly enjoyed myself during this conversation. I think if there's one thing that I want to take out of this thing, maybe you guys have other stuff, and please engage us. For me, it's exactly what I've also said on the previous recording. If you've already watched, be your own standard of beauty. If you start embracing it as Puseletso has said, it's a feeling. If you feel good, you look good. That does not matter who says.
Yeah.
If you feel that you have killed it, you look good.
I'm not gonna get jail, man. Today.
I think that's a topic on its own.
So guys, yes, thank you for tuning in. Engage us. Let's hear what you think about what our guest is saying. So please do remain plugged. From the three of us, remain plugged and ciao.
This production was brought to you by Imago Day Media.